What's going on, y'all? Apparently, this content creator that goes by the name of TheOdd1sOut, I think, some cartoon, they have some kind of beef with their employees, exposing them, but it might not be what everyone's making it seem. So let's check out this video from TheOdd1sOut, see what's going down in these streets, see what's happening with the newest drama slop.
Thanks for watching this video. Big thanks to everyone who worked on this video and made it possible. They're amazing.
So, about a month ago, it was revealed that famous YouTuber Animator, TheOdd1sOut, whose real name is James, fired his entire animation team without, allegedly, a proper notice. But suddenly this news was revived again, along with multiple animators that work for James, revealing their situation after being let go. Anyways, the initial post that revealed the mass firing came from one of the animators on James's team, a user named Anti-Darkheart. Edgy. So Anti-Darkheart worked on the backgrounds team for many of James's videos, and he revealed in this Discord post, so the entire TheOdd1sOut team has been fired, which means my main source of income is gone. As y'all know, it's about to be the dreaded tax season, and we're about to move, so I'll be doing comms full time from here on.
I don't want to hear that. Your crybaby self. I don't want to sound like I'm being like rude, but I hate that. If you lost your job, go and get another one, bro. Try your best. Work another job until you get another one that you might like. You know what I mean? Like, your family's issues and your issues should not be dependent on one person, bro. That's insane. It's his fault. He knew I had to do taxi. Why is that his concern? Like, what if he had to cut expenses for his business and what he was doing? He's supposed to keep on paying you? That's like mad entitled, bro. I've lost jobs before and it was what it was, man. Like, move on. If I didn't move on, I would have never been blessed enough to become a YouTuber. A lot of these people, man, they be crying. Like, oh, it's so sad. I got bills. How you gonna fire me before Christmas so I can afford gifts? Well, you should do. Why aren't you doing what you about to tell me? They're like, how come you didn't start a YouTube channel? Like, what? A bigger YouTuber hires you, which tells you that you're good at what you do, and you didn't go, let me work on my own animation in my private time. Let me take whatever extra time I have and put it on whatever I want.
I'd like to ask a big favor from y'all to please boost my lovely coworkers' commissions to help support them as well. 2026 has started off as a rather perplexing year that I believe will pull through. Fingers crossed. However, the message that follows afterwards is it's kind of ridiculous. Hey y'all, don't be taking screenshots of this and posting it online. It's not anyone's business. Whoever posted it on Reddit, please delete it. Yes. Hey guys, I know I just claimed a popular YouTuber fired me and his entire staff, and I know this sounds like juicy drama, but please don't make this public. You can't just drop something like this while adding your entire Discord server and then expect people to keep this info private. That doesn't make any fucking sense. So the same person decided to private their Twitter account, probably to wait until the storm calms down. Anyways, here's my take. If James did in fact fire over 20 people without a proper notice, then yeah, that is a pretty dick move. Am I gonna pretend I'm deeply invested in the livelihoods of these animators? No, but I can still recognize asshole behavior when I see it. Obviously, just firing someone or even a whole staff of people doesn't make you inherently a terrible person, and that's part of the working world. If a business doesn't need you for some reason, then that's that. It's his business, and if he
just is what it exactly is, his business. Start your own if you want to make the rules and, I don't know, be the decider on if you get fired or not. You might realize, like, damn, this is very hard to do and very expensive. I might have to fire a few people. or not be able to pay the people I want.
He has other plans moving forward or can't afford his team anymore, then he shouldn't be forced to keep them so they can keep their jobs. That said, if James actually did fire 20 people he's worked with for years without a proper notice, then that is different, especially when these animators are relying on these jobs as their main source of income. The proper way is to give workers time to find other opportunities, knowing they'll be out of a job. I've seen way too many people online ignoring this distinction, like letting people go is the exact same as letting people go without any sort of warning. You also have people just being straight up dishonest. James should have given his employees some sort of notice before this happened, so he should have fired them sooner. Is that the point you're making? Yes, because as we know, giving someone a notice before termination means firing them on the spot, not giving them time to prepare for other sources of income. Good one. Before I give more of my take, why don't we go ahead and see what the other animators that were let go have to say about the situation. An animator on James's assets team named Loveless Kia noted a month ago when the animators were let go, "Yesterday I lost my job. It was very abrupt. I was the breadwinner of my household and paid most of the bills. With this income, I no longer have. I'll be pivoting to commissions immediately, more proper with more typical options and such." And when the news of James allegedly letting people go without any sort of notice came back to light, she offered more insight. "Yes, this was my job with the odd ones out. Since this is pretty..."
You're such a crybaby. Man, like, I just don't see how people think like this. You had a job with a huge YouTuber, got credited, and decided, you know what, I'm getting paid. I should stop doing commissions, you know, when I'm like at the hottest of my peak right now, to where people would probably pay more to get my services because I'm working with this established YouTube. I think I'm gonna stop. And then now as well, I guess I'm gonna start my commissions again. What's wrong with people? I don't know. Maybe I just have a different mindset. It's like being a YouTuber and, say, for instance, a bigger podcast or YouTube channel wants to hire me to host a show or co-host or be on a podcast. You think I'm gonna stop creating content on my own channel? What sense does that make? If anything, I'm gonna do more videos, more live streams. I'm not for 1 second gonna say, okay, let me just depend on this one person or one company. Like, I think that's just a poor business mindset. You're supposed to do your work while you're building your own at the same time. If you're gonna engage in the business world, right? Like, I don't know. And don't be mistaken, this is business. It is what it is, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I keep saying out though because I don't understand why you would just sit there and just be like, all right, I'm just gonna depend on this. If you think I'm only dependent on YouTube, you out your damn mind. You would be poorly mistaken. Like, no, it's not stable enough. I can't really just sit here and just depend on just this. I have a bunch of other things I'm doing, even if it's as simple as diversifying and doing multiple platforms, you know what I mean, or multiple pages, stuff like that.
Public knowledge now. Yes, this was my primary income. I worked 30 to 35 hours weekly for the channel, so the sudden layoff was pretty devastating, to say the least. I'm very open.
Hey, what's up, LTO? You said you should always do your own stuff if you're in a creative field as well. Yeah, 100%. It doesn't make any sense not to. Like, if a big podcast was to be like, hey man, we'll pay you, come host over here, co-host, whatever, I might take it if they're not trying to like do me dirty with contracts or whatever. But part of it would have to be nothing changes over here. I'm still going to be doing my live streams, still going to be doing my content. It is what it is. Certain people, they've had those opportunities and just completely stop. And then when things go wrong, they got to go back to their channel. Your supporters are like, nigga, you pretty much abandoned us. And now you want us back here supporting you? People don't think.
for consistent illustration or asset work. And David Toons, who was part of the 2D animation team, stated, "So yes, I was part of the TheOdd1sOut retiring team, but I am doing just fine. I still have plenty of animation jobs under my wing, and I ask you support all the other artists and animators on James's team. Retweet their portfolio."
This times 1,000. With the push of AI, more will lose jobs. Yeah. If you're in any field, including me, and you're not thinking about the fact that AI will be pushing to like try to replace people, you know how many slop channels that are not human at all? This is AI that are putting out constant videos. You putting out like 5 shorts and 10 normal video uploads a day with the same like fake voice, maybe even a fake image of somebody. It's scary out here, right? So, but that's not just for my field. That's for every field out here, especially cartoons and artists, the people that draw, and music. Right? So that's something you got to start thinking about.
Videos, demo reels, commission pages, etc.
The only way to get around that is building your own. You build your own YouTube channel or Twitch live stream or whatever with your audience. Niggas ain't gonna want no robot. They're gonna want the person that they rock with. You know what I mean? But maybe I'm crazy.
Viscuvania, who was part of the assets team, claimed, "I am getting a lot of questions about the odds out situation. Please understand that I am just as lost as you guys are with why exactly he dropped the entire team on a whim. We were left with little to nothing to go off of. We had no idea this would happen. We were not given any heads up about his decision, and neither was anything alluding towards it. We don't know what's up, and I'd really appreciate it if you do not direct the blame on the team for any of James's decisions." And now, based on the wordage and phrasing from both of these animators, along with Jess, they're all claiming, or at least implying, James let them go without much notice, and are still just as unsure towards why they're out of a job as everyone else. Anti-Darkheart and David Toons both made it clear they will not be answering any more questions about the matter, which again kind of indicates they're just as much in the dark as everyone else. And David Toons even went as far as letting everyone know he's not under some sort of non-disclosure agreement that would prevent him from revealing what happened. He genuinely just doesn't know. It seems like he doesn't want to drag James's name through the mud any more so than necessary. And many of the animators seem to not have any ill will towards James, despite claiming they were let go out of a whim. And for the record, I do not condone any kind of harassment or hate sent James's way. It is what it is. What is worth mentioning, though, is that these animators could all be freelance workers and not full-time employees within James's business.
If you're not trying to get people to go after him, why are you publicly speaking about you losing your job? Like, what business is it of anyone? Hey, just want to let y'all know, this person was mean. They fired me without letting me know, and now I'm struggling and can't pay my bills. But I'm not trying to send nobody towards anyone. That's crazy. Straight up, that's wild. Hey, what's up, Buzzard? How you doing? How are you? What's up, Bailiff? How you do? You say, you think we not employed, Beast Boy? Slopping so hard, he's streaming peak work hours. That's hilarious. Nah, it's one of the only times that I know I can definitely stream. I could try the night shift, but it's not a good chance that I'm going to be able to do it mostly every day. Around this time, I could probably do every day. But once circumstances change, I'll be able to pick a easier time slot for everybody to be able to rock. Somebody say, "Hey, you guys," like a dude from Goonies. So I think originally they were hoping to use being fired as a way to get sympathy commissions. 100%. For sure. Without a doubt in my mind, that was the plan. People gonna feel bad. They're gonna rally against this YouTuber. He's gonna lose business. And then people are gonna start using whatever money they would have probably spent on merch for him to support these people because they felt bad. That's pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. I think they were legit trying to drag him, just using him as a way to get pity. Yes. Yeah, I agree. This is really nasty, but it's common. Like you working for a company where you leave, you want to try to bash them so you can try to build your name. That's disgusting. I'm not going to do that. Right? Especially if they helped you. He didn't have to hire you at all. I would have been like, thank you for the opportunity. You know what I mean? Thank you for having this on my resume. I might have got the other artists together like, yo, listen, we out of jobs. How about we start a YouTube channel? Let's do a cartoon series. Let's all work on it, and we can have the profit and be able to figure things out. But then they would have realized how hard it is to build your own platform and wonder why they wasn't doing it their entire time. It's really weird. Yeah, I'm not feeling bad for them at all. They don't get no sympathy from me. This is just adult life.
Meaning the freelance animators were just hired for independent work, such as YouTube videos. What I'm trying to say is that this could be a situation where these animators weren't necessarily fired, but were more so told they wouldn't be rehired for any more future projects. It might sound like semantics bullshit, but only having a set contract for certain projects and not being hired back for a new contract is different from being fired as a full-time employee without a notice. With that set contract, there is a date where you know you could possibly lose your job. There is already an understanding that there's a chance you might not be rehired. Another contract isn't necessarily guaranteed for freelance workers, while being a full-time employee is considered more secured. That said, I don't know for sure if these animators were full-time employees under James or freelance workers. I would say most likely the latter, based on the direction some of these animators are going after being let go. And regardless, many of these animators, like Anti-Darkheart, who made the Discord post, have been working for James for over 4 years. Even a lead animator that worked on 54 of James's videos was given the boot. So even if the animation team was made up of entirely freelance work, getting booted out of nowhere after that long of service for the same business is kind of bullshit, because the expectations for a new contract are a bit different. As far as why James let his animators go, that's his business. Some believe it's because he can't afford an animation team that large due to his viewership and overall popularity dropping. Obviously, he's still garnering a large viewership, but animation is very costly, especially the quality he produces. Others are claiming maybe James is just retiring. However, there are others speculating James is leaning towards the AI route because it's not only more cost efficient, but also much easier to produce a larger quantity of videos. And if that's the case, I can't really see James's career lasting much longer after that. In conclusion,
he's probably just trimming the fat, bro. Which is smart. If you're spending a certain amount of money, weekly, monthly, yearly, to produce something, and you can do it for cheaper, why would you not do it for cheaper? Why do you think certain people that like within the industry that build them themselves are able to get certain deals? Even if we talk about like the film industry, that's like one of the surefire ways to get in there if that's what you want to do. If you make your own movie, produce it low budget, and it produces money, everyone's going to come for you, because the company's going to go, hey, why would we pay 40 million to make this movie that only got like 60 million back when this guy only spent like 100,000 to make this movie that got 50 million? Let's give him like 300,000. He'll be happy with that. That's how people like Tyler Perry became a billionaire, because he's able to produce at a low cost frequently. And it might sound crappy because it is. The quality will take a hit, but you'll get more product. You ever wonder, damn, how come McDonald's don't taste the same? When I was a kid, McDonald's used to be delicious, and now it's not. It's because it's not the same product. Through the years, they've made changes so they would be able to produce cheaper things and make them more money. So it tastes nasty. But guess what? People still go to McDonald's. When they running somewhere and need to hurry up, get a little something, they do it. This fits for every business structure in a way. But once again, more importantly, you will go down in quality, which is a hit that not many people want to take, including me. Ain't worth it. But instead of hiring a bunch of people, I'm going to work my ass off myself. And if I get the means to be able to step up in quality, I will. And I'm going to bust my ass to keep it there. But I'm not going to hire a team of 300 people and be like, I wonder why this costs that much. Do you need that much? Probably not. If you could delegate, I'd rather hire one person that has multiple skills than 5 people for 5 different things. Especially knowing that I have multiple skills. So I'm just telling you guys from a business perspective that the company, they're not going to care. And I've learned this because I've been in the business field and realized, oh, they don't give a fuck. They don't get, I'm not special to these niggas. I'm expendable. And then I've also had conversations with CEOs of huge companies. I remember when I was working in a mailroom and we had to deliver a bunch of food to this one office every day. And they were spending thousands of dollars on food, bro. Lobsters was getting delivered. And I remember I pulled the boss to the side. I'm like, yo, you buying this for everybody? He was like, yeah. I was like, you comfortable with spending tens of thousands for lunch every day? And they whispered to me, I lose more if they go to lunch. I was like, holy shit. And then nigga's mine, which in business, he makes more money if they stay here. Hey, stay at your computers. Lunch on me. I was like, wow, it's a cutthroat business, bro. But that's like just one of the things that I started learning. Oh yeah, nigga, they gonna get rid of you. If YouTube wants to get rid of me like that, they can. It is what it is, bro. It's effed up. But it's not my platform. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Build multiple contingency plans if you're in this field. And I'm talking about business. If business can be pulled out of it, you gotta stop thinking as like the consumer and think as the big bosses, so that way you can avoid moments like this. I watched a documentary on a guy that ran McDonald's and made it what it was. He's disgusting. I'm glad I watched it though, because I learned so many things to where you won't be able to steal my business from me. People have tried. I've wrote comic books that people try to steal from me and they couldn't. It's because I learned these business lessons. That's all I'm saying. We're going to get to the mythic stuff for sure, guys. Oh, am I pronouncing it right?
This is far from the worst thing I've ever talked about on my channel. Again, if James did fire people without giving them a heads up, dick move. But I think the reason this is bigger news for many is because James likes to portray himself as a wholesome chungus who's such a swell guy. Hey, look everyone, it's the nice guy, the wholesome chungus. Look at that quirky chungus over there. I just want to lick him. I don't necessarily think this exposes James as a terrible person or anything, but it is pretty negligent to tell people they're out of a job and not provide them time to seek out other opportunities prior to letting them go. Could be missing context on James's end, but if he really cared, he did have an entire month to clarify his reasoning. And just to clarify myself, no one is really owed an explanation except for the animators, but apparently they haven't even received one yet.
Nigga, if your job is to animate and it's not like a, how do you say, guaranteed, you on contract for a certain amount of time, maybe it's even salary, always have other options, bro. And I just think you should just do that for everything, no matter what your job is. Have side hustles. In the entertainment field, always have your own as well. Apparently, this guy responded in depth, so let's pull that up. We will be looking into the Asmongold stuff too as well later on. I got you guys. Let's finish this though. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm really intrigued by like business and things like that. I watch a lot of TV shows and documentaries about it, just so I can never get screwed. Because they will try.
So, the biggest and most insane drama of 2026 has just officially ended. Many lives were lost during...
Hold on. Don't
this
tell me we
difficult
have
time, but now it's finally over. I am, of course, referring to the Odd Ones Out controversy.
It wasn't for touching kids, was it?
Oh, goodness, no. Just to give a quick summary of what I'm referring to, a couple of animators who works for the popular YouTuber Odd1sOut publicly announced that they and many on James's animation team were let go from their job without any sort of notice. What I gathered from this situation within my first video is that these animators are most likely freelancers that expected to continuously work with James despite freelance work being a job-to-job basis. And secondly, if anyone was actually a full-time employee, and then they should have probably received a notice before being let go. And this was big news for many because James is supposed to be a wholesome Chungus nice guy, and the way he supposedly treated his ex-employees made him look fake. Anyways, after an hour after I uploaded my last video, James sent out a response. So now I get to stretch this this amazing drama into 2 videos. Lucky me. Oh, by the way, I will be using gameplay for this video. The last time I used gameplay as B-roll, I was bullied mercilessly by my own comment section. So I took a little break from background gameplay, and I have been using pictures instead. I've been training hard the past few weeks and recorded some of my best moments. Hopefully these clips are good enough, or else my feelings will be hurt again. Anyways, I thought we'd go over James's response. It's only fair.
I was about to say, nigga, I don't care about your gameplay. Like, I'm not like a stickler.
Because now we have his side of the story. And we will also be comparing his perspective with the animators who were let go and point out if there are any possible contradictions. All right, let's go and take a look. And there's been some discussion online about changes to my team, and I want to clear a few things up. We still have an animation team, and the artists working on future projects will continue to be credited in the videos they participate in making. Over the years, I've worked with a lot of really talented freelancers on a project-by-project basis, depending on the needs of the video. So James is claiming that these animators were, in fact, freelancers under his employment, which essentially gives him more grace for the sudden terminations. Freelancers are typically used for individual jobs, and once that's completed, you should never expect that you'll be given another contract. To believe you have a secured job when you're not a full-time employee is foolish, and James shouldn't be blamed for that. And this also coincides with how the fired animators portray themselves. As I said before, being let go as a freelancer is not the same as firing someone without a notice. It just means you're not rehired for a future project. And my team size has always fluctuated. Freelance creative work often shifts as projects evolve, and right now I'm working on scaling the team to focus on more condensed roles. Last year, despite having a sizable team, we only released 3 videos, and this made it clear that I needed to seriously rework my production process. And here we have our reasoning. I'm sorry, AI conspiracy theorist.
So he trimmed the fat. Hell yeah. Only 3 videos. You got a team that big? And you only put out 3 videos? Yeah. Fight him immediately. What the hell's going on? What were they doing the entire time? Like, that sounds insane. What's going on? Like, yeah, that's nuts to me. And that people would even be mad about this. Y'all did the same thing. Why are y'all here? Y'all just chilling and eating off of me. I'm feeding everybody's family, and y'all not working. 3 videos? You got anime teams that got less workers than they had, pumping out whole seasons, nigga. Like,
maybe one day. As I said in my previous video covering this this epic drama, at the end of the day, this is James's business. If he's losing money because of the number of workers he's paying, then the obvious answer is to downsize, especially when the result of having a 20+ staff team is 3 videos in a year. This was never a reflection of anyone's talent or the work they did. Many of these people helped build the channel, and I'm grateful for the time, creativity, and rada. I had one-on-one conversations with every artist involved and had face-to-face conversations with everyone locally. And this was not some cold, insensitive breakup text. Some of the artists I've worked with have been part of the channel for a long time. And because of that, I try to handle these changes in the most respectful way possible. And now, James's description here of what happened paints a different picture compared to what a few artists claimed, such as, I lost my job. It was very abrupt, and we were not given any heads up about his decision, and neither was anything alluding towards it. Now, Now, I guess you could argue whether James met each artist face to face, one-on-one, it still could be seen as abrupt. However, based on how these two artists described being fired, I was thinking more of a half-assed message sent to them. And what follows next, though, kind of dismantles this idea. The artists were kicked to the curb with nothing. I provided severance packages to all full-time freelancers. That wasn't something I planned on sharing publicly, but since the situation was already brought online,
Say he paid y'all, the ones that weren't freelance, who shouldn't have been expecting nothing because you were working from a job-to-job basis. He gave y'all a severance package. He paid y'all on your way out the door.
Yeah.
You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, yeah. You know your name.
I feel it's important that all the details are understood. This is definitely the most interesting part of the whole response because, for one, not a single animator that talked about getting let go.
I'm over here coughing up a storm behind the scenes. That's crazy.
Ever mentioned receiving a severance package, but it is important to note that James did say he only gave severance to full-time freelancers, which I'm not entirely sure which of the artists fall under that category. Now, personally, I believe severance more than enough makes up for the full-time freelancers that were let go rather abruptly. That is a level of compensation I've never heard for any freelancer, even if they are full-time. Obviously, this is based on whether James is telling the full truth here or not. That would be a very extreme thing to lie about.
You said, Dane, I was going to ask if they were in a right-to-work state, but they're freelancers. Shouldn't that team expect to be finished with the work in team once the project is finished? Yep. 100%. So why was they mad? I'm telling you, they was just using them so they could get sad points and get some commissions. They're like, well, business is going horrible. So I might as well try to get some commissions. He was mean to us. He didn't give us more work. It's pretty disgusting, bro. That's the type of stuff that make you not want to work with people.
And something that could be easily debunked, so I can't really see why he would make up giving people severance packages. But as I said, it is interesting not one animator that was vocal about being let go never once mentioned a severance package. But maybe the most vocal animators who were let go weren't considered full-time freelancers. Now that it is confirmed that the animation team is made up of freelancers who work on a project-to-project basis, then James abruptly firing the ones who didn't work full-time is nothing but sound and practical. I mean, think about it. If you're working from project to project and James only figured out he can't keep everyone in between the previous assignment and the next one, then there's no reason to give a notice to you, since as a freelancer, you wouldn't be getting paid anyways. Giving a 2-week notice or something like that while an individual isn't already actively making money doesn't help anyone in the slightest, so it's ultimately pointless. It's been frustrating seeing the situation described online in a way that makes us feel or look hostile when I tried my best to make sure my artists were taken care of. I will say there were definitely people online that overreacted or just took the opportunity to say,
you know, I never really liked that guy.
Nothing about this was easy. Managing a large creative team comes with a lot of responsibility, and I tried my best to do it right by the people I worked closely with. I've also told many of them that I'm happy to serve as a reference for future opportunities because they're talented artists. It would be selfish for me to keep these artists on hold with no projects or consistent work coming their way, so I made a tough decision. I want nothing but what's best for my team. I apologize if this felt sudden. I was extremely hesitant to make the decision myself, but again, with no other jobs to offer at the time.
Yeah, this is 100% entitlement. This is entitlement. He don't owe you nothing. He gave you a job, bro. Like, he put money in your pocket, boosted your resume. Why wasn't you continuing to get other jobs? I know people that take commissions. They take multiple at once. Like, what? At one point, I was, what was I doing? Selling thumbnails, editing videos. I didn't say, hey, I can't take any more requests. Nah, I was just knocking them, not trying to curse, them things out. I was knocking them joints out. High quality too, bro. Like, Wasn't like doing none of the like a bull crap jobs on anything. No, I was taking it seriously. But I was doing them joints back to back. Same way I work on videos. I have multiple channels. I don't go, you know what? I don't think I could do a video today on this one. No, let's get it. Let's work on it. So yeah, I think that it was an extreme entitlement, and they was trying to grift and try to emotionally manipulate people in order to get commissions. And it backfired because now that it blew up, people were able to look into the information, and he had to speak up, and now they look stupid. Now see if you're going to be able to get a job now that your name about to get dragged through the mud for lying on them. Who would want to hire you?
This was the best way forward. So, in the end, James admits that he did let go of the artist without much of a notice, but he does claim he gave each of the full-time freelancers he fired a severance package. He offered everyone on the team a reference and credited each artist below his response. And as for the part-time freelancers expecting a notice, well, getting let go in between projects is actually the best move on James's part. Not only is James well within his right to fire anyone that's considered too costly for the business, but a notice in between projects doesn't impact the freelancer's current income whatsoever. Now, I guess this is technically still a he said, she said debacle. Maybe another artist will come out and debunk James, completely own him, leading to the epic war to continue.
We'll see. They keep trying to get me to watch Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes. Shout outs to that. Yeah, this seems like extreme entitlement, but I'm not surprised. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Also, hit the hype button as well.